The Nintendo Gamecube had arguably one of the best controllers of all time and a lot of great games to go with it. What's up, everybody? This is Brotrio, and today we're going to be counting down our top 10 GameCube games. Now, just a disclaimer, some games may be multi-platform, but if we enjoyed them most on the GameCube, they will be on our GameCube list. So with that being said, here is our list for the top 10 GameCube games.
Well, it's about time to start off with our number 10, Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. We've said it in multiple lists, everything's better with time travel, and this game took it to a whole new level. I mean, you could rewind time, fast forward time, stop time, all with the dagger of time, with the sands of time. There's a lot of that word in this game.
Yeah.
But it was just a great story, fantastic platforming and action. Enemy variety could have been better, but overall, just really solid game.
And it introduced the whole parkour craze in video games.
Early 2000s parkour.
You could run on anything. And as long as it was a destined path, you could jump off of anything. Otherwise, you might jump 1 foot down and die. But
yeah.
Overall, just really fun game. Just a lot more fun parkour than Assassin's Creed, in my opinion, because Assassin's Creed is a little too realistic for my taste in that parkour area. But it was just overall just really fun, solid game. Good puzzles, good combat, good time control. One of my favorite games of all time, and definitely one of my favorite for the GameCube.
There weren't too many games. The introduction to the franchise and the sequel both were in the lifespan of the GameCube. But the one that was on it like that was Pikmin 2, which was far superior to the first one. You get your Pikmin, which are basically ant vegetable creatures, and you can just go for some of the best puzzle solving on the system, or any system to this date, in my opinion, because you get the red Pikmin, the blue Pikmin, the yellow Pikmin, and then you get to go underground and you get the white Pikmin, which are resistant to poison, or the purple Pikmin, which are just big and fat and do a lot of damage. And it was just one of the best follow-ups to a game, and almost more than doubled the size of the campaign of the first one. Because Pikmin 2, you're just gathering treasure to sell it, and it's just normal stuff to us, but to Olimar and Louis, a bottle cap is worth millions to them. And that's what the funniest part of the Pikmin franchise is, how they come up with these weird, wacky names for everyday objects. And the best part about Pikmin 2 was the true final boss of the game, which was just this big, mechanical spider that tested every part of your Pikmin knowledge that had been up until that point. It shoots out water, shoots out fire, electricity, poison. It does it all, and you have to have a full squad with every type of Pikmin to beat it. And it was just one of the best, most accomplishing, you feel so accomplished whenever you beat Pikmin, because it's just amazing puzzle platforming at its peak.
One of my favorite things is how it removed the 10-day or whatever restriction it was, 30 days restriction from the first one. The world was so nice and pretty. I wanted to explore it more, but I felt so rushed by the first one that I couldn't. I just had to get in there and get everything done.
Yeah. Well, this time you're not in there for survival, so...
Yeah, you're in there for money.
Yeah.
And at the end of Pikmin 2, you have a lot of it.
Yeah, you save the company.
But Pikmin 2 is easily one of the best games, with some of the most adorable and vicious creatures.
There's very few games that the description sounds so boring, but it's so fun. Animal Crossing is basically a game about paying your mortgage and having hobbies. But for some reason, it is so much fun, and everything's adorable, and you've got the animal villagers, and you can go fishing, collect bugs, chop down trees, just plant a money tree, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
It's just... And you've got the NES games you can dig up, like Excite Bike and stuff like that you can just go play on your TV, and it's literally just whatever you want to do all day long.
Yeah, Animal Crossing is one of those games where you don't really do anything, but you can kill so much time just doing stuff in Animal Crossing. Like, I can't tell you how much time we spent fishing or catching all the bugs to get, like, the golden bug net and fishing rod.
Or burying pitfalls in front of each other's houses, because we shared towns on the GameCube one. And
yeah.
bury pitfalls all around our houses.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Like, you're just paying back this greedy raccoon, but for some reason we just had a blast. By far my favorite entry in the Mario Kart franchise, Mario Kart Double Dash. Like, so much fun. You had the 2 players in each kart. Everybody had their own specific abilities that you could get through the power-ups. You could tackle things and like hit a turn a little bit better when the person in the back is leaning, and
yeah,
you could toss powers to each other. It was just a lot of fun stuff you could do.
I really liked how everyone had their own special ability.
Yeah.
You know, like Mario had the fire, Luigi's was green.
And the babies had the chain chomps.
Yeah, the chain chomps were awesome. Yoshi had that giant egg.
Bowser had a turtle shell, like Bowser shell, I guess.
Yeah. The game was just a blast.
It was really fun. Had awesome co-op, and introduced Shine Thief, which is one of the best Mario Kart battle modes ever.
Great battle mode, awesome graphics, individual karts, which was a cool addition. Mario Kart Double Dash, just the best one in the series.
Now, this game gets a lot of undeserved hate, in my opinion. A lot of people hate on Super Mario Sunshine because it's Mario cleaning up the planet and, you know, all this nonsense. But it's actually one of the best platformers on the GameCube or any system, in my opinion, because it's just Mario with, like, Mario 64 improved controls, but also he gets a water, like, jetpack, and it's amazing. Super Mario Sunshine, it just had some of the best levels, like the beach you have to clean up, the manta ray, like,
those manta rays
sludges up the beach with electric goop, and you have to fight Petey Piranha, and Mario gets arrested, and it's just one of the most awesome Mario games. Introduced Bowser Jr., and unfortunately, voice acting.
Yeah.
But Mario Sunshine, I could spend so much time just playing that game. It's just so fun to me.
And some of those boss fights were just brutal, like when you're ripping the tentacles off of that squid.
Yeah.
And, like,
I like the little platforming levels when they took FLUDD away from you. And Nintendo said that was what inspired Mario Galaxy, were those little levels like that. They just expanded them, of course, but I thought that was pretty cool. And then New Game Plus, you can do those with the water pack. Seems kind of pointless, but
yeah.
But
Mario Sunshine is just a great game, and it's the most fun Mario's had getting arrested on vacation.
On our last list, we had a Paper Mario game. The first one, still a good game. GameCube has the Paper Mario game.
Yeah.
Quintessential, pretty much everyone's favorite Paper Mario game. I've maybe met 2 or 3 people that like 64 better. And nobody likes any of the sequels further on down the line better. But just Thousand Year Door had, like, legitimately a pretty dark story. considering it's a Mario game. Even not considering it would have been slightly dark, but just...
Well, Peach gets possessed at the end
by a 1,000-year-old demon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An actual demon, too.
I think, if I remember right, they talk about, like, a lot of, like, violent stuff, too. Like, in Rogueport, the history of it and all that. And, I mean, it's a city of criminals, so you kind of have to. And great partners. Better partners than 64, in my opinion.
Yeah, Goombella and Koops.
Yeah,
Koops was my favorite.
And Captain Bobbery.
Captain Bobbery was great. The little Yoshi was one of my favorites.
That ghost was really cool. The ghost lady.
Yeah, she was cool. The optional mouse lady was alright.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite characters that never came back was Rock Hawk.
Rock Hawk was hilarious.
It was just so great. And the Peach sections were... they weren't very good. Some of the Bowser sections were okay. But overall, it's just one of the better RPGs on my personal RPG list of my favorites. It's just very fun to play. Very, very riveting story. Keeps you moving forward.
Yeah, it does.
And it brought a lot of good paper powers in.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the
rolling up into a tube.
Yeah. Paper airplane, paper boat.
Flying as the paper airplane.
Going flat.
I forgot about the boat.
It was just fantastic till the end, and there's a significant challenge to it, and I loved everything about it, and I hope Nintendo brings back what Paper Mario used to be one day.
This is the only game I've ever seen that people just absolutely lost it crying during the initial launch trailer. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Like, with good reason though, it looks glorious. Like that is it's brilliantly rendered. Like everything looks great. You got the chainmail underneath, and that was a nice touch. A lot of fun items, great bosses.
And a pretty good story too.
Yeah, and pretty dark. Like
very dark.
Almost a little too dark. But
weird cutscene with
Link and his.
It's raining Link and Ilias or whatever.
Yeah, the interloper cutscene is very weird and
it seems like maybe the game used to have a different direction in mind, but then they just left it. But
it's
you get to wrestle.
That part's weird.
You get to wrestle the goat. And
you get to sumo wrestle Goron.
Yeah,
that's my favorite part. It's just to talk about at least. I wish there was a whole sumo wrestling like championship mini game.
That would have been.
That would have been amazing.
The game looks fantastic. Great story, fun characters, and Midna is my favorite of the companions in Zelda because she doesn't just pester you the whole time, and that is why it's one of my favorite games in the Zelda franchise.
The sequel to one of the best fighting games of all time, Super Smash Bros. Melee, gave us more of the same, but also improved it immensely. Melee increased the speed, added some new moves to existing characters, added brand new characters such as Bowser and Ice Climbers, and it just gave us so much to do. You had the story mode where you fight through people and then fight Master Hand at the end, and also gave us the events that you could use to also unlock. You had to unlock characters that way, like Pichu and Ganondorf, and it was just some of the best, like most fluid fighting you could ask for on any system. Most people still prefer Melee to this day as opposed to any other Smash Brothers game.
Like he said, improvements to old characters, new characters, basically the introduction of Fire Emblem to the West with Marth and Roy. And I don't personally care for Fire Emblem, but Roy is one of my favorite Smash characters, bar none. Just love Roy.
Yeah, I brought in some of my favorite characters like Game & Watch, and it introduced one of my favorite sets of characters, the Ice Climbers.
Super Smash Bros. Melee brought Smash Brothers from a fun family brawler to a legitimate fighting game.
The jump to 3D gaming was hard for some franchises. Some of them even skipped a generation, like the one we're talking about now, Metroid Prime. I personally don't think Nintendo knew what to do with it to bring it into 3D, so they ignored it for now, gave it over to Retro Studios, who made the controversial decision to turn it first person, and it couldn't have worked out better.
Yeah. It's just one of the best looking games on the GameCube, easily, and it still looks pretty good by today's standards. Like, Metroid Prime has some of the best shooting and best items and had some of the best exploration on the console.
And the music was fantastic. The music was great. It really nailed the feeling of being isolated on this planet, and it worked.
Overall, it had some of the best bosses in the series. In my opinion, the best isolation feeling in the series. And it brought Samus into a new dimension for a new generation. And that is why Metroid Prime is my personal favorite of the Metroid franchise.
The Legend of Zelda always puts its best foot forward on a new system, and it was never more apparent, in my opinion, than whenever the Windwaker was released. It really showed off what the GameCube could do as far as just how immersive the world is. A lot of people hated on it for the cel-shaded graphics, but in my opinion, that really speaks truer to what the game is about, as a sense of adventure that is timeless, because the graphics are cel-shaded and they still hold up today. Like, that game has aged so well. It's just an amazing adventure. It's fun the entire time. Hell, I even loved hunting down the Triforce, all the shards the whole time. And, I mean, Ganondorf is just an evil son of a bitch in it, and he's finding whoever has pointy ears and killing them, and trying to find out who Zelda and Link are in this timeline. And it's just some of the best boss fights, easily the best music in a Zelda game, and just could not be better in my opinion. The King of Red Lions helps you out and doesn't pester you, and you go to old Hyrule and it's all frozen in time, and I can't say any more about how great it is. I'll be here all day.
Yeah, I love that frozen in time part of the game. Like, you're just seeing all the enemies that are turned into statues, and it's all creepy and stuff.
And like, back on the graphics, I think the GameCube one looks better than the remake. I like how it looked more like a cartoon.
Yeah.
But Legend of Zelda Wind Waker is easily my favorite in the Zelda franchise, and quite honestly, my favorite video game of all time. Well, thanks for watching our top 10 GameCube games. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe to this video. You can turn on notifications so you can be up to date whenever we release new videos. And don't forget to go like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and we'll be back next time with more great content.